What is up, Scentsy fans? It's Patricia and welcome to another week of Tester Tuesday. This is a spot where I get reviews out to you and hopefully that will help you decide if a scent's going to work for you or not. We have two scents. One is a Bring Back My Bar and one is the very controversial Friends scent. So let's get started. So let's talk about our first place scent for the week. It is Falling Leaves. This is a brown colored wax. It had 35% of the vote. It's a Bring Back My Bar scent, so it's available till January 31st if it lasts. So make sure to put it in your Scentsy Club if you want to try it or you love it. And Scentsy has put this in the spice category, but I could argue it could be a spice woods scent. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, an earthy blend of clove, cinnamon, and patchouli. So we have patchouli, which I would say is the majority of the scent, and I've looked up what is patchouli or how do you describe patchouli. And the internet says the smell of patchouli is typically described as a mix of earthy, woody, sweet, and musky scents. The smell of pure patchouli oil is quite strong and is slightly sweet and spicy. So I would say I get about 40% of that. And then maybe I get 30% of the spices. Of the spices, I get mostly clove and a little bit of cinnamon. So the cinnamon is not too strong, in my opinion, in this. It's more clove to me. Now, I have that the other 30% of the scent are other stuff. And I'm thinking there's maybe a 10% vanilla because it's a slightly softened patchouli and softened spices. So I think the vanilla might be in there to kind of round out and soften the edges of all those other notes that can be a little bit aggressive. I also thought when I was warming it, maybe 10% of the time I could smell something like a gentle sage. And later in the warming, I thought I could smell something that reminded me of maybe incense, which might have been coming from the patchouli, but I don't know, or something that you would smell in a church, because this scent reminded me quite a bit of something I would smell at my mother-in-law's, and she's very into church, and so I just picture, but it was that kind of church incensey kind of scent for me. So I will note that late on day one, a soapy characteristic came out, very similar to the soapy characteristic that I picked up years ago in redwood and cedar. So it's a very complex scent, but let's talk about performance. So I put 4 cubes in my TV room upstairs, so we'll talk about that first. There's 2 warmers there. It was between 6 and 6.5 out of 10. And it's actually still going. We're on day 2. And it's probably about a 4 out of 10 right now. So it's just ticking along in there, not doing too badly. And in my entranceway where I had it going, I had 2 cubes in my Aspen Grove 25 watt ceramic warmer. It was about 7 out of 10 at its max. And I just removed it at about the 1.5 day mark. I just found it hard to pick up and I had to be very close to the warmer, and that only has 1 warmer in that room, so maybe that's why. And I actually let the wax harden and I removed it and I added it to the bonus room wax because I thought I'm just going to leave that one going, and I wanted to change the wax in my entranceway. So I think if you're someone that likes earthy scents that are a little bit softened and kind of like a low roller, then pick this one up. There's some spice and patchouli, but it's kind of like a cozy earthy scent, and there is spice obviously. If you align with people like Linda H here on YouTube or Elizabeth Scenes and Scents here on YouTube, then I bet you they probably would love this scent. I don't know because I haven't heard if they do or not, but where would I warm this and when would I warm it? I would say it's a fall and winter leaning scent for sure because of that earthiness and the spice. And I would say medium to small spaces would be best because it wasn't quite strong enough to scent a big area unless you want it very, very gentle. Now, the only thing I'm going to say is we have one more Bring Back My Bar scent, and I'm actually probably not going to put that in Tester Tuesday because it's simply patchouli, and I just don't even know if I want to warm that. I know that's bad to say. I usually will warm anything, but I'm not sure if I want to warm that. So I do want to say before we break off with the Bring Back My Bars that overall I thought there was a lot of bakery and a lot of earthy scents, but one thing I noticed is the scents didn't seem to last very long, and I'm wondering if anyone else found that. So just something to note, they didn't seem to last very long in my opinion. Will I be repurchasing this one? No. The ones I'll be repurchasing are cranberry mango, whipped vanilla pear, vanilla walnut, strawberry sweetie for Ryan, lots of lavender, lavender vanilla, and hopefully I'm not forgetting any. And I think I will put the toasted caramel sugar in my club for sure. That's the only one I'm putting in my club. So that's my overall Bring Back My Bar summary. If you want to see any of the other Tester Tuesdays, please look down in the comments section. I've linked all those videos down below. So let's move on to scent number 2. All right, let's talk about scent number 2 for the week. It is the Friends Bar. This one had 27% of the vote. It's a brown colored wax. On Cold Sniff, it's between light and medium. Scentsy has put this in the bakery section. It's a licensed bar, and it's also an LTO, which means it costs 50 cents more per bar, and it's only available while quantities last, or they, put it in the Scentsy vault. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, double espresso and freshly brewed coffee. Create the best coffee house mood where moments with friends, or frenemies, are sweetened by laughter and coconut cream. All right, so I'm going to start by saying that I didn't hate this scent. I actually found I liked it at certain points of it, but there were definitely times where I did not like it at all. So I want to say first off that it is not a coffee scent. So it's kind of, it's not properly described in my opinion. Usually if you get a coffee scent, it is very strong. This one is not very strong, and you can't really identify it as coffee. So what I find it smells like, and I have watched reviews, so I may be picking this up from other people's words, but it definitely does smell like a coconut oil or a non-edible leaning coconut. And it's not overly sweet. So let me tell you a story. I went to a course. There was a colleague of mine, and she ordered, at the end of her meal, she ordered coffee, black, which was fine. Then when the coffee showed up, she put butter in the coffee. And I have heard of people doing that. But I don't drink coffee, and I remember thinking, that's kind of weird, but I didn't want to ask her about it just because I didn't want to, strike up a conversation about that. But it's almost like this bar here is my colleague who is very pretty, and she smells really nice. She smells like a gentle, let's pretend she smells like a gentle, powdery, pleasant, girly scent, okay? She is sitting there waiting for her coffee to arrive, and she's got her coconut oil ready to put in it. She's not putting butter in it. She's putting the coconut oil. But the problem is her husband is still at the coffee shop. There's no coffee in sight. She's waiting for the coffee. There's no coffee. It doesn't smell like coffee. It's too far away. It needs to be closer. It hasn't arrived yet. So that girly, slightly powdery tone, it's not overly aggressive in the scent, but it is there. It reminds me of when you get vendor wax. Sometimes certain companies have an undertone to their wax, and it's almost like that's the undertone to this wax. So it also reminds me a little bit if Tom Hanks was trying to make coffee while he was on the Castaway Island. This would probably smell like it wouldn't smell or taste like coffee. It would just smell like coconut crud. So there is a lot of controversy with this scent, but let's talk about performance. So I warmed it in 2 spots. I warmed 2 cubes here in my bedroom. Strength and throw-out max was about 6 out of 10, and I left it going about a day and a half. And there were times, I think I have a note, around hour 7 I came up and it smelled like movie or microwave buttered popcorn goop. That goop at the bottom of the bag, or that just overall chemicals buttery smell that you get from microwave popcorn in with that coconut. So I'm just like, well, that's kind of weird. I didn't like that part at all. It was really gross. Later when I came up, that part seemed to be gone, so I don't know what that was. In Drew's room, I warmed 4 cubes, and I left it going a day and a half as well. It was 6 out of 10 at max. When I removed it, it was probably about 3 or 4 out of 10, and I'll tell you why I removed it. I was giving him a bath, and I'm thinking to myself, why does the bathroom smell so gross and like stale and yucky? And then I couldn't figure it out, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the wax. So it just doesn't really smell good. Maybe it smelled a little bit better on day 1, but there was times it just smells like buttered, powdery coconut oil. So I think if you're someone that likes that scent coconut palm, and you don't mind it mixed with something that's like a strange wax undertone, then maybe pick this one up. If you're someone that dislikes coffee, then maybe pick this one up, because it doesn't really smell like coffee. So where would I warm it? Well, I'm not going to warm, well, I'll finish this off, but I'm not going to repurchase. I'll get right to that. But I would say medium to small spaces would be best, and fall and winter leaning, because it does kind of have an earthiness that doesn't really jive with spring and summer. Now, I'm going to say if you were grading Friends Bar, so maybe the scent performance is okay, maybe the scent appeal for some is okay, but when it comes right down to it, the scent notes aren't what you're getting. So it'd be like if you were doing a project for school, and the teacher said, I want you to write a poem, and I want you to write a limerick. And instead of writing a limerick, you wrote a haiku poem. Well, technically it's a poem, so you kind of delivered a little bit, but you're totally in the wrong department, so you're probably not going to get a good grade. And I think that's where Scentsy has suffered with this one. It is not a good coffee, and it doesn't deliver on the coffee. If someone is looking for a coffee scent, they don't want coconut oil. It's almost like Scentsy doesn't really care about coffee, and they just say, well, we're not good at it, so we're just going to throw something out. Well, that's not the solution. If you want to get better at something, you ask for help, or you learn more about it. You don't just put out a bad attempt at it. That's my opinion. So will I be repurchasing Friends? No. Will I recommend Friends? No, based on the fact that it doesn't deliver on the scent notes. And I think I would just leave this one for the smelly cat. All right, let's move to the portion of the video where I'm going to draw some scents and you guys are going to vote. If you're new to my channel, you're going to pick 2 different scents by early Wednesday morning and put your votes down in the YouTube comment section. If you're new to my channel, you can put your 2 votes on Instagram. That's under Patricia Gates. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the Valentine's Day 3-pack, and I'm going to draw 3 scents. And I apologize, I did get these very, very late, and they will be arriving to the public on January the 8th, and so my review is not going to be out in time. But if you want to hear about it, you can vote for them. If you don't really care about them, then vote for something else. All right, so scent number 1 is going to be I Pick You. Scent number 2 is going to be Perfectly Cute. And scent number 3 is going to be Simply the Zest. All right, let's draw 3 more scents. Scent number 4, Sharp Dressed Man. Let's pick a big one if I can find one. Scent number 5, Clean Breeze. That's not that big, it's just in a big bag. And scent number 6 is Clothesline. So, thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Friends bar if you've tried it. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.